Testing, testing, one, two, three. Is this on? Do you read me? Hoping so, because this thing has been frustrating me beyond all reason to. Awesome, thank you. Because it's been driving me up the wall prior to the stream. I had to restart my computer 3 times this morning prior to streaming, and every time you do that, you have to reset up all the stream settings. Yeah, I ended up I definitely think something's wrong with my mic because I replaced the cable, and this mic is like 20 years old. Gets moved around a lot. It's on like a little arm. Things happen to it. Anyway, I'm going to flip the stream on here in just a moment. Just glad the mic is working. I was freaking out. How's everyone doing today? How was your weekend, Atlam? And yes, okay. Camera is working. That was my bad. I was like, why is it dark? Hey, Gore, I've missed you around these parts. I mean, I haven't really streamed much. This is like my 3rd stream back because I was out of town for a while. Well, I was offline for a while, let's just say that. Took a little staycation, if you will. Okay. TikTok chat is now working. It was not loading before. Got it up. We've got Steam chat up. I've got Twitch chat up. Let's double check the multi-stream feed. Do we have anyone from YouTube watching by chance, or maybe Facebook or Twitter that would just verify with a quick yes, hello, something like that? We can see if their chats are working. TikTok, I might come through there. That'd be awesome. Hey, Guafa, how you doing? I'm gonna refresh the chat really quick. Oh, thank you, Jim. Appreciate you very much. We're good now. We at least got multi-stream chat up and working. That's the big thing. Got some coffee. Wonderful morning. It's quite early for me. In Pacific time, it's, oh, not quite early. It's just the beginning of the day. It's just 9 a.m. here. So some people, you know, it's like lunchtime. Some people are nearing like the end of their workday. But welcome one and all. I hope you're having an amazing day and had an awesome weekend. Really quickly before we dive into the stream, my name is Mac. I am the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is a map-making utility that is available on Steam that allows you to build maps in a snap using our proprietary map building toolset. Paired with the ability to make maps by hand. So you have the option to do either or. There is a free demo on Steam if you're interested in checking it out, seeing how it runs on your computer, kind of a try before you buy thing. And then also Dungeon Alchemist is available for purchase. We are in early access, but we only have a handful of updates that remain before we leave early access. Our next major update, Fun with Objects, we're already kind of cooking behind the scenes, so to speak, and there's been a lot of interesting stuff coming to light recently, including a teaser this morning showcasing multi-level with roofing. If you missed that, I'd love to share it with you here on stream. So Guafa asks, how you been doing today? I'm great. I'm just kind of, you know, vibing, enjoying my morning. I woke up, you know, like at a reasonable time earlier, so I've had time to wake up and I'm not like kind of tired or whatever. I've also had some coffee, so I'm a little like I'm alert, you know. I'm in it. How about yourself, Guafa? I haven't looked at this map in like 3 weeks though, so I'm trying to remember what I was doing last. So for those tuning in, it is Mapmaker Monday. Every Monday, unless, you know, I'm out of town on a vacation for the first time in 2 years, that every Monday we do a stream. Uh-oh, gotta fix that. Where I build a map live for you to watch and learn. The current map build is at an ancient cemetery. So what we've been doing is essentially slowly building out this cemetery and defining its, like, what's in it and what's going on. One of the first things we did was the entry, which for some reason got bugged out. I think because we extended it out, and I need to just fix this. Won't take but a moment, so we'll do that here in a minute. And then so the entry kind of has this neat little pond and a gate system and a little kind of whatever. I don't even know what you would call that, an arch, I guess. I want the cemetery to feel old and like a lot's happened in it. Hey, the Ocean Guardian, thank you so much for the like and for the kind words. Ocean Guardian on TikTok says, man, I love your design so much. I appreciate that. I love sharing my ideas with our community and kind of building stuff. And then this whole map design is counterintuitive. It kind of breaks my brain when I think about it. Because I disabled, oh yeah, my grid stuff is hidden at the moment. 1 second. Also in low quality. Let's get in medium so at least get some stuff there. But I build at an angle to the grid, so I'm not like, it's not like it's necessarily a simple or straightforward build, and I actually enjoy that. But if you're looking at this, so far what we've done is kind of one section of the cemetery with a bunch of different headstones. We built a kind of a parking area here with a main road, and then a massive chapel with a bell tower, which was a fun little addition, a multi-level bell tower, which I built by hand. Anyone with a copy of Dungeon Alchemist can do this. It's just stacking stuff on top of each other. So if anyone has questions about that, I gladly dive into it, give you some guidance there. But the chapel here has a little secret passage, which I might further develop later. I was planning on putting like a little garden or something back here, a shed of some sort. We're going to do lots and lots of graves and a caretaker's kind of like home and like a tool shed of some sort. So, I remember when we were last here, this is one of the last things I did is I built this kind of centerpiece where I was going to have roads diverting off of it, going in different directions. Cool. Cool. I'm excited for that. Well, anyway, so if anyone has any questions about this, let me know. I think the last stream we spent time kind of fleshing out this fancy area of the cemetery where it's like maybe like a royal family or a rich kind of family. I think, shoot, I didn't do that area, but we could do something. Maybe put some headstones or something. We'll figure it out. But anyway, it is coming along. It's looking great. I'm really excited for the progress we've made. Remember, during these streams, they are AMA format, so if you do have any questions related to Dungeon Alchemist, feel free to let me know, and I will do my best to guide you. Okay, let's go fix that area in the front, and then we'll just dive right into it. So, Guafa, you've had DA for a year now. What is your favorite, aspect of DA? Always love hearing community feedback on this stuff if I can. Choppy spot. So first things first, I'm going to paint with a regular stone under this. Bush will be. Notice that area there is carved out under the bush. So the next thing I want to do is kind of flatten the terrain to that spot. I want to make the brush powerful but small. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, Ocean Guardian. I mean, as long as you're happy with your builds and your players are happy with it, then not a problem at all. Dungeon Alchemist, at the end of the day, is designed to be easy to use, and quick. So if you're making maps that are, simple, that's definitely, one of its core intentions is to get you something that is quick and easy and illustrates your intention for your players. Does that make sense? So, I mean, there are community members who dive into maps and spend hours and hours making them, and that's also something you can do with Dungeon Alchemist. So it's kind of the best of both worlds, in my opinion. That's cool that you've been using it for 2 years, though. Like, we offer tools that can quickly generate maps in just like a second, right? And then we have tools that can, like a few seconds, I mean. And then we have tools that can, help you spend hours and hours hammering out every minor detail of your maps. And that's like my favorite part about DA is that it's really just made for pretty much everyone. Supports a ton of different virtual tabletops, a ton of different styles. It's pretty much system agnostic across the fantasy front. Instead of being dedicated to any one particular system. Oh, nice. A mansion? That's cool. So, okay. The Ocean Guardian on TikTok says, I am almost happy with the mansion design for the big bad BBEG fight for now. Been changing it every so often. Been working on it for 7-ish hours. That's awesome. I honestly, I am very excited with the fact that you are putting together something like this, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Are you planning to share it on the workshop at some point? Because I would love to take a look at it. Ocean Guardian. Jim Cushman on YouTube asks, are we going to see some stacking levels today? So I will tell you this. I don't really have access to the that build with all the stacking in it. I can show you some clips, some teasers, some stuff like that. If you'd like, I can show you an image that was shared earlier for sure, so we can check it out. I wish I had access to the build so I could give you like the inside track on some stuff. But unfortunately, until the build is like very stable and at a point where they want me sharing tons from it, I don't usually get access to it. Right now, it's like a Git repository, and it's not much of anything. Let's see here. Nice work. Looks really good. Thank you, Stacy. I appreciate. Oh, Starry. Sorry, I misread that. Or is it Starry or Starry? Either way. Hey, fair enough, Ocean Guardian. Jim, I could show a couple teaser videos if you like. You prefer using Dungeon Draft, but if it comes to small maps of taverns, etc., I use Dungeon Alchemist. Hey, to each their own. And honestly, every tool that you use as a dungeon master is just like it helps. Every tool you have in your belt, it makes you a more effective dungeon master, really. Like there's no, I say this a lot on stream, so I'm sorry for people who hear it a lot, but there is no like one tool that can effectively do everything for like a carpenter, right? Like a carpenter, speaking of carpenters, Le Kit Dubois, who is an amazing carpenter, makes custom like woodworks related to tabletop gaming in our Twitch chat. But I mean, we could ask him. Basically, if you only had a hammer, how much could you build in your shop, right? Having more tools under your belt as a dungeon master ultimately makes you a more effective storyteller, especially when playing an online game or using, like a virtual tabletop or a TV tabletop. It helps tremendously to have an assortment of tools. Maybe a couple different map makers, maybe an audio tool, a virtual tabletop, maybe something to consolidate all your documents like Google Docs or some sort of tool like that. Just a hammer can do everything, right, Dubois? I'm not going to be mad about it. No, I will cater to you, Jim. I'm going to actually cater to you 100%. Give me 1 second here. I'm trying to find this particular video. I'm going to see if I have it saved first before I start digging through everything. I do not have it saved in teaser bin. Figure out where Wim posted it. Where? He posts something new every day, and I'm trying to figure out where it is. One moment. Sorry. It might be further up. Well, while we're waiting, I'm going to pull this up. We could take a look at it and watch this on repeat for a second while I'm looking. I swear the other day Wim posted like a little clip showing jumping between floors. And I'm trying to figure out where he posted it. And I'm mad at myself because I could have sworn I saved it, but I'm not seeing it. It must be in general somewhere. Hey, Run Amok. Man, maybe I can't find it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm mad. Seriously, I don't know where it is. So irritated. I thought I had a video of it. It kind of showed him jumping up floors, and you could see like all the different floor numbers as he did it, and I'm like frustrated because I have no idea where this video is. If anyone knows, I'd be very happy, but I don't want to spend an excessive amount of time looking for this particular one. But in the interim, I'll show you a few different teaser images. I'm almost positive he posted it in general the other day. But I just can't seem to find it. And I've gone back like 20 days. I'm gonna try and sound like a Minecraft villager. Yeah, this is, I'm sure, very fun to watch. Me just kind of like, oh my goodness, did I find it? Nope. Nope, that wasn't it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to search from user. And see like a whole list of his posts for like the last few weeks. I think I found it. I think I found it. Here we go. Sorry, everyone. Oh, and I found where I downloaded it too. Darn it. The old one. Here we go. This thing's really cool. And I'm sorry it took me so long to find. This thing's pretty cool. You got any new projects, Dubois, that you're working on lately? Any new ideas? Or anything interesting? Oh, nice, Ocean Guardian. You made an underground canyon? That's awesome. Hey, Ricky, thank you. You can't do layers yet. This is something we're working on. It's in development. This is, I mean, you can do layers by hand if you're willing to stack it all by hand, for sure. But this is something that is being developed. It's like in the alpha phase, essentially. And it's coming along quite well. So, here, let me show you another image. So this was shared this morning across our socials, and it's kind of just us testing roofing, different styles of roofing. More than likely, this will be in the next update, Jeff. We've kind of committed to getting multi-level crunched into the next update. So if it doesn't, basically it would delay the update till it's ready at this point. I appreciate all the kind words about the multi-level. And if you have any questions, I can try and answer them. Keep in mind, I have not played with this personally, like hands-on. I just kind of see what the devs share with me and talk about. And then I've had some meetings with them discussing, various aspects of it in the past. So I kind of understand it, and I'm learning more as we go. But for the time being, you can kind of get the idea. There's no time frame on a launch window even yet, or a launch date. So I can't even speculate on when this will be available. It's just kind of a we'll get there when we get there kind of thing. If that makes sense. One thing I want to point out is this right here on the right side. The last video with the stuff going up the tower, it's zoomed in on a very large, Wim's monitor is massive. It's like a 8K monitor. So he zooms in to get a cut that's like 1920 by 1080. This here, or cuts a section that's 1920 by 1080. But this new UI icon here, this is how you shift between the levels. So you just click that number, up, 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 etc. So every time you push it, it goes up or down between the levels. I'm hoping you could just type in a number too, because clicking it up and up and up 80 times would be annoying. I don't know even how high it can go. I'm just speculating at that number. But once Wim shared an image that showed a 79 in it, so I'm assuming it goes up pretty high. That's the thing, Email. I can't even speculate on the limits of it because I haven't played with it, and also it's still very much in development. I mean, what we release could be very different from what we have right now. So, you're asking questions there sadly aren't answers to at the moment. Like earlier I asked Wim, I said, okay, how will this export? Like, what's the optimal, what is DA's plan for exporting a map with, say, 10 levels on it? And I asked him, would they be required to export those one at a time? Because that would take forever. It'd be frustrating. You just go 1, 2, 3, etc. And then I said to him, do we intend to offer like a mass export or a batch export type system where you could select all levels, or levels 1 through 10, or levels 1 through 10 night and day, levels 1 through 10 night, day, and winter, and then it just sits there and exports them one after another until it's done? Like, I don't know what it's going to be like, but if you have any questions related to that, please ask them, and I will try and convey that to the devs the best I can. Remember, though, we should be spending time making a map today, so I'm going to get back into that. Do love sharing teasers with y'all, though. And if you have any questions about them, feel free to let me know. Kuja Kunisaki on TikTok says, I really do need to get it and get into it. We have a free demo you can try. It's available on Steam, so you can try that out for free, see how it runs, and go from there. By the way, TikTok, thank you for so many likes. We're over 1,000 likes now. Very much appreciate the love. Thank you. Okay, so back to the build. You already tried the demo? Gotcha. And how did you like that? I think I'm going to put some more, like, of these. Maybe like those. I'm trying to figure out what to put, like, here. Just a few more tombs or something. Really like the way these ones look. And we can shrink them down. That. Oh, excuse me. I think a cat fur or something landed on my face. They always like float around my house. One thing I'm most excited for in the next update the devs are working on is, it says at least that it's planned on our roadmap for the next update. And by the way, if anyone wants to check out our roadmap, we have a it's a suggestion board and roadmap, a living roadmap, where you can follow along with our development and see what's going on there. But, oh dang, it doesn't show it anymore. This is so confusing. I gotta ping Carl about that. He might have moved it or may have accidentally changed it. I don't know. But, basically, this here, it says, coming up next, multi-level support with roof, place doors without walls, indoor balconies, and open space. There used to say separate ambient indoor and outdoor lighting, and select multiple objects was on there. A few other things, too. Group merge save objects. So I don't know why those aren't on there anymore. They may have moved them back just as they're assessing the development plan. But we'll see. Hey, King Poverty, how you doing? Welcome. Hey, see you later. Kuja, thank you for dropping by. You're welcome anytime. Let's see here. Let's do one of these. Just trying to mix in a bunch of those. It's under planned, but not upcoming. Upcoming is the next update. Planned means it just may happen at some point. It used to be under upcoming, and it being removed has me a little nervous, a little concerned. But it's not the end of the world. I'm sure that there'll probably be adjustments made. I think I'm gonna put like a statue here. Put something fancy. One of these. I mean, run amok. There's several approaches. Well, two major approaches for building ships at the moment. One is essentially you can either download an object from the workshop that's a ship, or import an object, for your local or to the workshop that's a ship, like a 3D model of a ship. So it's just a single object. And there's quite a few already on the workshop. I'd say several dozen. You could type boat, ship, airship. There's several different things to search, and they'll come up depending on how they labeled it or named it. The other thing to consider is, you can take one of the stock objects that we have, like a boat. Say, like this rowboat, for instance, is the very common one that's used. And then this bad boy can be pretty much scaled up infinitely or down if you have collisions disabled. And then it becomes a much larger boat if you do something like this. Very commonly people will take things like a plank, or I think it's like a board like these. I think it's called a platform, maybe. We'll see. I gotta find it. Yeah, like these. And then kind of size it up, raise it up. And you could kind of build some primitive decking using these, right? Just kind of line it up a little bit. And it's not a perfect solution for now, but it's kind of fun to build ships like this. It reminds me of like Lego quite a bit, if I'm not lying. But you can take these elements, kind of combine them together until you have a ship and a base level, and you can start putting other things on top of that, like a hatch or something, to make it seem like there is a floor below. You want collisions off for sure, because that'll allow you to scale objects much larger, much smaller. Additionally, you can raise them up and down when they're at this point, and it allows you much more control over your ship and like what you put on it. But I definitely would recommend taking a look at some of the ones on the workshop, because they can get you going, get you kind of a bit of like have a head start, so to speak. So like I said, you got some that are just ship, like a standalone ship. There's a bunch of pre-made, just this is a single object ready to go as a ship. Some of them are quite big. This is 62 megabytes, while this one here is only 5 megabytes. Okay, there's those options, right? Remember, search ship, search boat. Different things trigger different search options. Lastly, on the workshop, same thing, but under maps, I also would take a look at some of these. So like here's a flying ship. This one looks like it was built by hand. Again, here is another ship. This one was built, again, by hand. Let's look. I'm just going to search for all time. There's a particular one that I'm looking for that I always love. Let's try ship. I mean, you have our options, or you can look and see what other ones are. But I mean, like, look at this thing here. Here, let me hurry and delete this. Save, because I forgot to. This one's actually one of my favorite boat builds on the entire thing. like on all the entire workshop. Okay, this one, flying ship. So essentially, it's a 3 levels of the same ship, and it's got like, it's essentially right next to each other, so you can see all the various aspects. And they did use just the rowboat. So here is the very top, which would be the airship aspect with a like a crow's nest type decking. And then you go below, there is the captain's kind of like deck area, some quarters. So it's kind of like a pull apart view of the entire ship. So like the top deck, and then here is below deck, first floor. So this is these cannons here. You can see. Then there is the lowest deck, crew floor. Crew and officers, so to speak. Hey, Asmodeus, when did Wim say that? Can you link me that so I just have the link to it instead of a screenshot? Or was that in a DM or something? Anyway, this thing is quite intense, but I mean, just downloading this, you'd be set. You got a ship, but it's also a pretty epic ship, and it's an airship. But you could always just get rid of the airship aspect and use it as a ship. But this is a perfect example. Yeah, just DM me that link, please. Thomas Broadfoot, thank you for the like. Ocean Guardian, also thank you for the follow earlier. Sorry I missed that. Y'all are enjoying the stream, make sure you hit that follow button, like, share, subscribe, whatever is the flavor on your platform. I very much appreciate all the support, especially those likes and shares on TikTok. They really help us get noticed and grow. Okay, let's move on back to our map that we're building. Yeah, it's a pretty one. It's from Sailor Yugoth, who I heard from recently. He kind of was taking a break from map making. No, hey, I'll just Oh, you weren't sitting there long, were you? Okay, cool. Mrs. came in with water, and I was like, oh, shoot. Didn't realize you were there. That's cool, Kaiser. So it loads the next scene, or it teleports them to the next area. Yeah, there's a similar module on Foundry, for anyone that's curious, called Monk's Active Tiles, that does essentially the same thing. Very cool, though. I'm glad that Fantasy Ground is starting to get a lot more like intuitive support like that. It's really cool to see it kind of growing and get more. I gotta finish this coffee before it gets cold. Tim on Twitch, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. So Run Amok, I hope I helped you out there with ships. A little bit at least. Kind of set you on a path. Okay, I'm trying to think what we need here. There's a grave being dug there. Got a little shovel. I want to do stuff like this all throughout, like, you know, like a wheelbarrow here and there, or a grave that's being dug here and there. Okay. I'm thinking maybe I should fill in the space around the church so I can move on from this. Kind of flesh out this space. That's awesome. I really hope Foundry, you know, like the levels feature is great, because yeah, it used to be a module. It would be really cool to see how we may integrate with that when, you know, we launch our next update with multi-level support. Hey Remy, how have you been, by the way? What you been up to? So here's the thing, everyone. I kind of put this little secret passage going under the church that you can only access through these kind of like trippy confessional booths that when they close, actually rotate you around. So it's like a secret passage. Secret tunnel. I gotta try something just for good measure. Now you can see the cat on the other side. Cool. That's neat. I kind of wanted to do like an element of what that was over here with like a pit thing, but now I have this fence here. I could seal this up and just be done with it, but it would be great to, I was thinking of putting like garden stuff here, like a little walk-through garden with like flowers and statues and stuff, just to kind of like a pretty area behind the chapel that goes all the way around it and then meets up somewhere on the other side here. So it's like a little, just like a garden area around it, and then it will have walk paths that meet into other cemetery plots outside the garden. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm feeling, at least. Lucky Owl, welcome, welcome. Oh, I'm sorry you're going through that, run amok. I really am. And it breaks my heart, honestly. I know that feeling all too well. So, just so you know, Asmo, you just sent me a link to you sharing the screenshot, not the original post of Wim's. So I'm wondering where Wim posted that originally. Ah, here we are. There it is. Okay, thank you. That is what I'm looking for. Okay, so it used to say it on our upvoting. No worries, no worries. And now it doesn't, which is weird. But this link here goes to the Discord chat where it is stated that we will have separate indoor and outdoor ambient lighting. I knew it used to say upcoming, but now it's not, so I don't know what happened. I will discuss that with the devs. Might have changed while I was on break or something. Who knows? A lot changed and happened while I was away. Okay, let's get back to the build. On hiatus, yes. I was just on a staycation. It wasn't like I was missing or anything or on leave or anything. Just a vacation. Okay, so I'm thinking pathway that runs kind of like this along and then maybe deviates and stuff like that. So that gate is not parallel to the building at all. I messed that up big time. Oh well. It happens to the best of us. Let's do some wall plants. So some like ivy. Things growing up the wall. That super tall one reaches. They all look natural. Let's see here. Some of that, and then we can have some on the ground next to it. Collisions are key. And I'm just going to hold shift and place some kind of around that grows out. Like here. I like to rotate it a little bit so it looks less square. That's just personal preference, but when it's like this, to me, it just kind of seems more, I don't know, generated. We got some ivy here. I would like to put maybe some plants here too, some flowers. What kind of things should we put? EA just took a dump. We're good. So I could put like a boundary, you know? Ooh, maybe a little statue there. Let's do that. Make up my mind. But I like the idea of things like that, just kind of randomly through the garden. Put a bird on it. We can pickle that. I don't know why, but you just reminded me of about 24 Portlandia skits. You know, Run Amok, if you want to tune in onto our stream on Discord on Wednesday, I can go through it in very detailed, you know, concept with you. It would take some time for sure to cover. Hey, Sassy Molassy, thank you for the follow as well. Much appreciated. Did not notice that, so my apologies. Hey, Bane, how you been, buddy? Been up to? You know what? I'm gonna do this. Yes. So weird how it just snaps to everything. Oh well. We'll put this one. There is no way. Even with like... That is strange. Can't rotate it. Like, it definitely is an awkward one. Oh well. Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, I would say, you know, I mean, you could try Saturday too. Either or. Saturday on Twitch, if your Twitch connection is better. It's just the next stream would be on, or I mean, Saturday on YouTube or Twitch, whatever works for you. But Saturday, the damn stream, we do cover AMA stuff, so I could show you then as well. Okay, I need to kind of etch out this path before I get too far. I kind of want to use pavers. I have these like little stone works. Where are those? Maybe those were from the workshop. Let me look. Yep, these. These are perfect. Welcome to the stream, Sassy Molassy, and thank you for the follow. Something like this. Right? Did it a little bit. Back on the workshop, and we'll look for more stone path. I'm gonna get all the... A winding one, maybe a circular one. Mm-hmm. And we'll get this square one too. Why not? let's try one of these. Bigger. Stir. Put it. Kind of neat. Try this one. I want to see all the variety in this. Maybe do a couple straight ones, and then we do a curvy one around the corner. Flatten that terrain out. Let's get this area all prepped for our work, huh? Kind of want a broad area around the building where I can put planters, statues, fountains, you know, assorted things, plants of all kind, and also the pavers to give a nice clean path around the chapel. Uh-oh, where'd the wall go? No! It's back. We fixed it. Misplaced corpse? Sure, why not, Ricky? Why not? Playing around with some different ones here, seeing what we can come up with. You do something like this, where it goes like a statue or a fountain in the middle, right? That's awesome, Sassy Molassie. Thank you for the kind words. So, Sassy Molassie on... I'm just going to call you Sassy for short here. On Twitch says, I have to say I love Dungeon Alchemist. It's such an amazing tool. Before, I was hand-drawing maps for online games, but this has been a huge time saver. Plus, any opportunity to get my creativity flowing is a plus. Well, I'm glad we were able to help you, you know, turn up your creative juices and, you know, scale your gameplay to a whole new level. Thank you for the kind words. May I ask, what is your favorite feature about Dungeon Alchemist? Let me ask everyone, actually. What is your favorite feature with Dungeon Alchemist? Steam, I'd love to hear your feedback too, by the way. If you click show chat at the bottom of the stream, you can open up the chat window and join us and say something if you'd like. TikTok, Twitch, anyone, I'd love to hear it. Uh-oh, my Twitch chat was frozen. Hey, Remy, thank you so much. I did not realize that. It just flushed up a bunch of messages all at once. So I just restarted or refreshed my chat there. Thank you for keeping an eye on that. Yeah. What am I looking for? Fountain. We need a nice, like, neat... This one could probably go there. Doesn't need to be too cool. Let's use that as a placeholder for now while I look for another one. I also really like that one. And it's round, which means it'll likely fit in the center. Cleaner. Yeah, that's the winner right there. What do y'all think? direction, because it's like only from really one side that it has the bend, and it kind of isn't in the middle. So I'm wondering either like a perfect middle bend, or maybe one that's like from the opposite direction, just a mirror flip, so we have more options. But yeah, I really love these particular assets. Try to use them whenever I can. Curvy path will be fun here. Just playing around with. I'm gonna leave these over here just ready to. There are so many features to choose from, huh? I'm sorry for putting you on the spot there, Sassy. I think we're getting... Yeah, that looks good. You know, I might use more of these curved ones in this build. Bring this over here just so I have all these extra pieces. Put a curve. Put it like somewhere. This maybe. Into there. Shrink this one down much more, it's going to look awkward. But I could move all this just a bit. Did anyone else just lose audio? Testing. Is everyone getting audio? Hey, Francois, thank you for the like. You hear me on TikTok? Thank you, Remy. What I really want this to do is kind of bend around this side much cleaner. That's about as good as I'm going to get it there. So I got to use a straight line off of this. This one then. Put it something like this. And get just the tiniest bit. Then it goes around the bend there. See if I can use another curve here. Just two of them in a row. That won't work. You hear me? I'm turning down the stream music. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Twitch. Can I get a thumbs up in chat if you hear me? Odd. Okay. Other platforms are fine at the moment. Hey, Zach. How you doing? Weird. Ah, our bit rate is tanked on Twitch. That's why. It's probably Twitch. Or why. It happens to the best of us. Not much you can do about it, I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes TikTok or Twitch or various services just have a little burp hiccup, you know what I mean? They just stop working as well for a few moments. And then they come back. I don't know why our bitrate caved suddenly, but it did. Okay, I'm gonna do that so it's much more straight and like clean across that side. Just gonna put more. Now, I'll probably use the squiggly along this side. It makes sense. I can do something like this. So close. Yes! It worked. That's all that matters. These are on the workshop. I like to use assets from the workshop whenever I can to support creators in our community and also just add some diversity into my builds. Let's see how that's straight. But yeah, I think, you know, the little path around the church is looking pretty good. Yeah, if you search on the workshop, if you search path, you'll find this pretty easily. So, stone path, path, path. I just downloaded all of those. See if we can put one more in there somewhere. Maybe like aggregates in the corner here. Trying to decide if I don't know, that seems like a mess. We could do one more circle here. That just makes everything even messier. Maybe up in this corner here. Ricky, pretty much every object, if you disable collisions and then disable the toggle snap to grid by holding control, like this here has all the degrees of turn, but if I'm holding control, it snaps to those points. Some objects default to that, to those points, but if you hold control, when you're doing, like if something defaults to snapping, If you hold control, it will undefault that, and it'll give you full rotational control. The only exception would be objects that, like, put a hole in the ground, fix into the ground. It just seems like TikTok, or not TikTok, Twitch is having a rough day. I'm sorry, people. I mean, they plan on doing that with a lot of different things. By the way, Remy, it was actually Quentin who developed that particular tool. It's pretty neat. I'm excited to see what comes of it. Kind of just remember. So, like, objects, for instance, that snap automatically, there would be, like, for instance, freestanding walls, right? A lot of people will grab one of these. So they'll snap if collisions are on. Well, you can control snap them, or you can just rotate them. So you have both options. Let's say you're doing something like this that's square. These typically only rotate on the corners, but if you hold control, you have full rotational control. So depending on the object, control will toggle its essentially allows, so depending on how it's defaulted, holding control makes all the difference. Anyway, hope that helps you out, Ricky. I'm going to try one of these. Disable collisions. I'm going to put that there, but we need to flatten this area out. I didn't get far enough ahead. Oops. Okay. I'm going to decide where to allow access on this side. Thinking just a path through, like, the plants. Like a little walkway going down, like some stairs or something would be clean. We'll fix this up in a minute. We've dropped quite a few frames. Let me see if I can fix this. Okay. I'm going to close anything on this end to help sneak a few frames out. Okay, so stream disconnected, attempting to reconnect. Stream disconnected, attempting to reconnect. It seems like it's disconnecting. It could be my internet. Could be any number of things. My internet sometimes has issues, and there's construction going on in my neighborhood. Like, a lot of it. So as of late, there have been a lot of messed up stuff, so I apologize. Hey, see you later, Jim. Sorry, everyone. Oh, that's right. I was thinking of maybe putting something here. I don't know. Figure it out. Play around with a few different variations of this. Squiggly on the corner. Make it just a little bit larger. Make it move a little bit faster. Yeah, I don't know if it's my internet or if it's just Twitch or any number of factors. It's probably my internet. So in the last hour or so, there's been a dozen reports on down detector. On yeah, I'm fine on TikTok. I'm fine on YouTube. Only having issues on at the moment on Twitch and Steam. My internet seems fine, so I don't know. Like, I'm not saying you guys are crazy or anything. I definitely believe with you. I sympathize with you that this is happening. There's just not a whole lot I can do about it at the moment, other than tell you to go to a different platform and watch there while we figure it out. Which is funny because sometimes it's really not that consistent. You can just having a path come out here. Cartographer, how you doing, buddy? Appreciate you being here as always. Got to play around with placement here until we get it just right. I think I'm going to do that. Cool. Just going to got a path in the plants. Yeah. Flatten that out a little bit. Jumping into terrain tool, we're going to use the flatten tool. I'm going to make it nice and small so I don't overshoot. And then I'm actually going to sink that down just the littlest bit. I want to make this, oh, maybe I should flatten it to the lower plane. Smart. I'll just cut into this the littlest bit, slow and steady. A little bit over here because it's hidden under the bushes. Don't really need to worry. What do you mean, Ricky? Really? Is Tailspire talking bad about us? That's sad. Or are you just joking? I mean, it could be my internet. It could be something to do with the multi-stream is having issues today. Any number of things could be causing this. Alrighty. Yeah, I'm really sorry, everyone. This is happening. I don't really know what to do. Like, I. Something's up. Let me play around with this, see what I can do. See what I can do. Well, it could be Streamlabs, it could be Twitch. I'm open to any possible problem, but the fact that Steam and Twitch are both having issues means, I mean, it could be both of them, but that's weird. You know what I mean? Anyway, it is what it is. I don't know what to do. Or it could just be like the pathing for, where my stream jumps to. Like it's jumping to a server that's way further away. And as a result of which, it's really like bad bit rate connection for everyone. I don't know. Let's get back to the build though. It is frustrating. I'm sorry for those struggling today. There's not much I can do about it though. I really want to make it better and fix it. Unfortunately, these companies, they kind of control every aspect of their stuff, and there's not many changes I can do. Use this same stair. I just feel bad. You know what I mean? Like it's awful when this happens. I could restart the stream potentially, that might fix it, but I doubt it. Like that. Let's get rid of that big one there. So when I stream, it passes from my computer, right, through my ISP, through my hardware at home, right, through my ISP, And then it jumps from my ISP to a series of different companies along the way to these different streams. So depending on where they have their stream setters set up, and if those stream centers are functioning correctly, it may or may not work on that stream site that day. And depending on it, it may forward me to another one if one isn't working that's too far away, and as a result it lags and has problems. So like for instance, Twitch has centers all over the US, but maybe their centers are struggling or having problems. It could be a problem between like ISPs, like the data is essentially being held kind of hostage by one ISP as it transfers between them, which is stupid, but stuff like that kind of happens. So you'll get like essentially very bad, could be weather, could be any number of things. Yes, correct. Okay, I spent way too much time on that path, but I think it looks pretty good. Whoa. Oof. Yeah, I mean, stuff like that happens a lot. It's just weird that both Steam and Twitch are having issues. And crazy right now, it seems like Twitch is back to normal. I don't know. Like, Twitch's bitrate is normal at the moment. We'll see. Ricky, are you still there, man? Were you joking with me about Tailspire, or are they kind of salty towards us? Because that's kind of funny if that's true. You were joking? Okay, good. I was like, wait a second. Man, that is. I mean, it's kind of funny, but also like, what? You got me good. Okay, I'm thinking an arch. I don't want some arches throughout this. I was just like, oh man, what did we do? But hey, we're not going to be everyone's best friend out there. I get it. Oh, you're right. That's where they are. I was trying to remember where they were. Hmm. Real question is, where are they? Hey, Stelios, how you doing? Welcome. Yeah, the map's coming along. So today we've been working on the path around the church, which I'm going to fill with like plants and decorations to give people kind of a footpath to walk around. I'm thinking of maybe even having diverting paths that go off into other areas of the cemetery. It'll kind of have a wall around it, but then it's going to go into those areas. Gosh, where is that arch? I am just drawing a blank right now. Maybe I could just use an arcade. But I want to be able to go through it with a token, and an arcade will not work. Doors, we have some arches, right? Like these. But that won't work either. Because I don't have a wall there. So I think obviously I want to do the decorating and a wall kind of around this. I might extend this out just a little bit and then have like a path through the wall. And then it'll be cemetery here, you know, more plots, more plots. I think I was going to have a big road going this way, right? And then a big road going that way. So it'll be kind of like a cross section in the road here where this big circle is. Yeah, I just don't like being really dependent on it. Not really what I'm looking for at the moment. Pretty much none of them are. It's okay. Yep, I do. It'll be kind of over here somewhere. Maybe over in this space. Because there's going to be a big dead space back here. And I'm thinking this might be a good idea for the groundskeeper's like cabin and like shed. Like his home and shed and like maybe a little property of his. You know what I mean? And the road will be connected to it. And then more plots. So essentially, it'll be mostly just varied plots and different elevations. I was going to raise some of the area back here to make it feel like it's up. But yeah, there's going to be a lot more plots. Pretty much, like, everything that's left will be plots except for maybe over here for the groundskeeper. Really kind of getting frustrated here. I can't remember where the particular item I'm looking for is. I know we have some like decorative arches that are like the Reaper. We already have direct integration with Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, Foundry, a number of systems that use the UVT format. Our maps can be exported as a JPEG, MP4, WebM video formats. They can be printed with or without a grid present and be used with TV tabletops, projector tabletops, etc. This is the only one I found. I guess I could use this. I just kind of was hoping for something a little bit different. There's like, okay, a few rose arches in this metal one. I guess the metal one will probably be the best fit here. Yep. So our maps can be exported for Roll20. Goodness. Please don't freeze. We'll give it a moment. It's funny, when I search Arch, only that one comes up, but when I search Rose, all these other ones come up. We're going to hit wait, and we're just going to wait. By the way, welcome to the stream, Reaper. So when you export, you have an assortment of different options, but Roll20 is one of them. So Roll20, you can export a still image map, with either just flattened top down, so straight top down, limited 3D, or perspective 3D, so it makes the objects kind of pop and feel more real. You can export with the grid on or off, but for Roll20, in fact, any VTT, I recommend exporting without the grid present. Use the lowest DPI for Roll20 because they have very small upload limits, and this will keep your map size small. You could render with or without lights. You can choose if you want an extra border around the map or none. And you can even do a grayscale if you choose. So you have lots of options here. Now, keeping all that in mind, what I would recommend with Roll20, because of their file size limits, I recommend keeping your maps 50 by 50 or less. You can obviously, do several scenes to make a larger area and just kind of conjoin them. And if you want our maps to export with like all the lighting, line of sight, walls, windows, doors, dynamic lighting, etc., you would need to be a Roll20 Pro member, and that's just a restriction based on their memberships on their platform. Essentially, you can use Roll20 Basic and our images will work just fine, but it won't include access to any scripts with Roll20. And our plugin, our script on Roll20 will allow you to get all of the other data. So it saves you a tremendous amount of time for setting up the lighting and windows and stuff. Yep, I am winning, Lion. Always winning. Save really quick. As Gore stated, if you export with no borders, the small border option is probably the ideal. If you export with no borders, you risk it being cut as objects that were near the edge being cut off, especially if it's in a 3D perspective. So Reaper, this is the official channel for this tool, Dungeon Alchemist. We don't actually release map packs for the community. We empower our community to make their own maps. So this is a very powerful tool that allows you to build your own maps using our map making engine, which can generate environments and fill buildings and stuff like this, like really quick. Or you can dive in like I'm doing and build very intricate by hand builds to get all the details and, you know, intricacies that you want. But with that in mind, we do offer Steam Workshop integration, as you're asking here. You essentially, there's over 9,000 maps, 9,687 maps to be exact, on the workshop. And there is also Steam Workshop integration for assets. So we primarily offer like a fantasy aesthetic. That's what was promised in our Kickstarter. We do lean into some like steampunk, some early Western, some Victorian, some stuff like that. Some of our stuff even works for like modern because, you know, a lot of different styles are kind of timeless. But with the workshop and the over 5,700 assets and growing, you can increase your diversity, you know, add more options to your fantasy set, but also add, say, sci-fi and other elements that would not normally be available. It's like, here's an ATM, here's a neat little sci-fi circle. There's all sorts of different assets in here, and people are starting to make Fallout, cyberpunk, sci-fi, modern, cultural, you know, different regional cultural maps because they've filled in the blanks from the workshop. And anyone in our community can share maps on the workshop and share 3D models on the workshop. So you can import any custom models you want into your DA, into your copy of Dungeon Alchemist. So if you can make 3D models, or if you've, you know, got a stack of them that you've, you know, sourced on your computer, or you know where to source them online, you can import them to use for your own local stuff. If you're the creator, or you have the rights to the model, or you're, you know, sharing it as a Creative Commons model and you're properly crediting the creator, you can then share it on the workshop. There's a lot of ways to enrich our community as a whole and benefit from the workshop. So here is the asset importer. You can import 3D models that are STL, FBX, or GLTF/GLB. So STL's import is like a flat gray looking like an unpainted token, and then you can set a single color to them. There's a bunch of different color options that you can do once you place a token that's flat gray, or an object that's flat gray like an STL there. The other ones, there is full color models as well as animated models available that have been shared on the workshop. So essentially, we empower our community to share maps, but there's entire, like, I mean, let's just search Strahd here. There's entire tons of Strahd maps. So if you're playing a Strahd campaign, you can just search and see what's there. Search COS, you can also find a ton. Let's try Phandelver. Like all the most heavy-hitting D&D campaigns, there's tons of maps already available that you can either use as a foundation, just use right away, or learn from it and make your own if you prefer. So you essentially have the support of our community to draw from, and there's many people in our community who make maps professionally. They do private commission work, they offer Patreons, etc., where you can, you know, get hundreds of maps that are very custom made and intricate that may not be shared on the workshop. So between the workshop and whatever else is out there, there's tons. There's tons. So if you're looking for people that may make maps, you know, you might want to check out our Discord. There's people that advertise their Patreon in our self-promo section. People offer commission work. And then if you already own a copy of Dungeon Alchemist, a lot of map makers can send you a DAM file, which is our proprietary map format. You can open it up in DA, Dungeon Alchemist, and then export it for Roll20. Alternatively, yeah, if you own a copy of DA, the Steam Workshop integration is something that you can access and check out and download maps right away. But yeah, I recommend hopping in our Discord. Quite a bit of info there. You can get support. You could see, you know, maps and 3D models people have shared. You can learn about importing models, etc. TTS is pretty great in its own regard, but each and every program kind of has its pros and cons. And we focus on primarily map making, not gameplay. So I will tell you this: Dungeon Alchemist is primarily a map maker, not a virtual tabletop. But that doesn't stop people in our community from using it that way. There are so many people who actively use Dungeon Alchemist as a virtual tabletop. It's crazy. I'm going to decide how I want to do this here. Excuse me. Woo! Just breathed in like a cat fur, I feel like. Okay. Plants. Plant. Yeah, I mean, we offer token support, right? So you can use any of our prefab tokens. But we don't have like multiplayer, right? So if you're playing locally, it's ideal. But yeah, if you want to play online with multiplayer, you'd probably want to import our maps to, say, Roll20 or Foundry. But like here, you can pop into first person, walk around, show the players. You say stream this to them over Discord or Zoom. We have grid integration too, and the tokens snap right into the grid. Additionally, you can import custom tokens either from Hero Forge. We offer Hero Forge integration. So if you make a token there, you can purchase it as a 3D digital, not a 3D printable, 3D digital, and then link your account. It'll show up here. We offer a partnership with Bite the Bullet Studios, so every update from here until we leave early access, there'll be free tokens as well from that. So our last update, we included over 20 free tokens. And you can download tokens from the Steam Workshop or import your own with the Asset Importer. So if you're looking on the Workshop, for instance, there's a little categories. You can click the token category, and then you can sort by NPC, monster, and characters. Hey, Real Tatsuya, how you doing? Welcome back. So there's hundreds of tokens already available that have been shared. And you can import your own using a variety of different methods. Here's one that's gray. Let me show you this one. So this one was imported as just an STL. And it's a simple, just gray horse. I'm going to pop one of those down. And when it's gray like this, a simple STL, we give you this filter option so you can change the color. And this is nice, actually, for simple tokens because you can apply status effects to them or have a bunch of diversity on a simple token. Plus, you can import full color tokens like this one here, or even animated tokens if you want. There's no concrete plans for multiplayer support or virtual tabletop, like hard virtual tabletop support at this time. Really, what we plan to offer is once we leave early access, our devs have committed to offering some VTT light features to further support like TV tabletop or projector gameplay, etc. Whether that'll expand to multiplayer or online play remains to be seen. Too early to tell. And we still have 5 major updates before we leave early access. Essentially, Dungeon Alchemist was conceived as a Kickstarter, and those Kickstarters are a very important part of our entire like roadmap and history. So those stretch goals, each one of them has been a major update. So, I mean, I can't speculate as to when the full release will be because each major update is like between 5 to 7 months. You know, we've had some only take like 3 months, but most take around 5 to 7 months. And there's 5 major updates remaining. So it could be anywhere from 2 to 3 years, most likely. Our next major update, Fun with Objects, will include multi-level roofing, separate indoor-outdoor lighting, tons of new features for managing and playing with objects. We were sharing some teasers earlier on the stream. I guess we could check some out here in a moment. 1 second. I don't think we have any plans for it on console. It's just way too resource intensive for console. As it's not a game, it's a real-time 3D render engine. So it does require a PC for kind of ongoing, continued uh, uh, let's just say it puts a lot of it's very resource intensive and puts a lot of pressure on your PC, GPU, RAM, etc. I am pushing on the backside for our team to offer GeForce Now support, which would allow community members who say have less than ideal computers to get cloud-based support. So you could use the GeForce Cloud to essentially run DA through, say, a very limited computer or even an iPad or something like that. That's my hope, at least. No guarantee as to when or if that'll happen, but, you know, someday, TM. Essentially, we don't like to promise as to when something will be released until we know for sure, because we don't like to under-promise and over-deliver, or we don't like to over-promise and under-deliver. We like to, do the opposite. So essentially, we really like to make sure we can guarantee when something will be released before we push out like a specific date or even a window. Just setting the boundaries for this. Need to do is set this parallel. This wall. Now I can do this. Is that parallel? It doesn't look like. Looks a lot better now. Okay, let's try that. A little bit of a perfectionist with this stuff, so I want it to kind of feel like this, at least these gates or walls are parallel with the chapel walls. And I didn't do that earlier, and I made a mistake, and my brain's hating me for it, so I'm gonna make the most of what I've got here. Make sure the rest of it is like. That is a good question, though, by the way, Reaper, about it being on console. I mean, it's a reasonable expectation. It does seem like a game, so a lot of people, would love the option, and consoles are a much more reasonable approach to, like a tech purchase like that is computers can be really, really prohibitive as far as a cost to get something really powerful nowadays. I mean, the graphic card alone is like the price of a computer. It's been getting progressively crazy for a while. So I sympathize with that. I don't, it's not like I'm against it. I'm always pushing for more inclusivity and like ways to support Dungeon Alchemist across our community. Personally, I think it'd be cool if we were on Xbox or PlayStation and on the Epic Store. But I think, if we do go to Epic Store, it'd probably be like after we leave early access. So we're just a finalized product. Darn it. Gotta move the gate back. No. Okay, I'm gonna flatten that terrain a little bit. I'm gonna pull one of these over. No worries, it's only my third time doing this corner. Proton DB, is that like a website, Proton database or something? I feel like I've heard of that. All right. Sorry, I kind of just got into my head there and I wasn't sure what I was going to do. Yeah, a few people have done Steam Deck stuff in the past. It's not necessarily perfect compatibility. I asked the devs if we could get Steam Decks for the team so we could do testing on it, but I think they want to wait until we leave early access to do that. How you doing, Callie? Yeah, the levels are pretty cool. Darn it, I really messed this side up. That's not too bad. That's acceptable. Good to hear, man. That latency is really good on it Twitter today. Good to know. I think I want an opening in the gate here, so I'm gonna get this lined up. And we'll do something like that. Maybe kind of where that bend is, we can have a line coming out of it. Right there, something like that. Yeah, there's quite a few people who've confirmed and used it. It just kind of limited compatibility. The fact that it runs it is impressive, you know. I think the big concern is how to save your maps. Like, you got to have the SD card or basically put your maps on the workshop constantly. which, you know, most people have SD cards, so it's usually not a major concern. Pretty good. Because, like with a computer, you save it all locally. You have all the other support options for sharing it or putting it somewhere else. So essentially, you need some way to get it off of your Steam Deck easily, which is the concern. So essentially, some way to, you know, put it into a USB drive, or you got to pull out the SD card and put it somewhere constantly. That's the only major issue. Run amok, you can't really do that currently. You ignore it. That's how. You ignore it because your players likely won't notice it and or care about it that much. I've never really heard about a player complaining about it. It's pretty much exclusively DMs who notice or care about it. So I am actually running 2 rigs to drive the stream right now in order to give you all the best stream experience, right? I have a computer that is dedicated to running the stream, which is actually my old computer. So its whole purpose is just driving the stream. There's nothing on that computer except for stream software. So there's Windows and some stream software, and that's it. And so it essentially, it has a capture card that my other computer is driving into it, and it captures all the video and streams it. So its sole purpose is butter, right? The other computer, so that one is a much older machine. It has a GTX 1080 Ti. It has like 32 gigabytes of RAM. You know, like about a terabyte of storage, all SSD storage. 2 separate drives, one for like other stuff and one for the OS. It also has liquid cooling, a few other things. Now, the game machine, the DA machine that I'm running everything on, that one's much more powerful. And it's got updated components. Here, let me pull that up so you can see. So on your computer in the search bar, if you type DX Diag, you're given this little window. It's kind of small. I can't maximize it. But you can see here I've got a Ryzen 9 5900X, 12 core, 24 CPUs. This is I got 132 gigabytes of RAM. And then I've got the GeForce, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070 Ti driving this at the moment. And this computer is essentially, its sole purpose is running Dungeon Alchemist. Or once in a while, you know, I do video editing on it, I game on it. So that machine is essentially, its whole purpose is running DA during the stream. And then it also has this various stream chats up and feeds. And then the other one runs the stream. So I do that if it's all from one machine. If you're streaming, DA is a resource hog, and unfortunately it will be competing with everything else. Stream software, also a resource hog, especially if you want to do really high quality 1080 60 FPS 5000 bit rate or higher consistently. So anyway, that's my setup. So if you ever need pointers, by the way, for how to run your stream with or to do a stream or to get every bit of optimization out of DA, feel free to ping me in a DM and I'll guide you through some options to help You know, if it's for streaming especially, I can really help with that. But if it's just for running DA really well as well, I can help with that. I spent years as a tech building machines, built my own machines, my friends' machines, repaired hundreds of computers, tech, you know, software and hardware. So that was a previous life. Also on your stream, the stream, like, yeah, alerts, all the various different sources and scenes you have set up are all kind of running in the background, and they take up time, or they take up resources. Anything you have running in the background, music, browsers, everything, they all take up processing power that your DA is hungry for and wants to split or take most of it. So just do your due diligence, especially when running DA. It pays to just not have much else running in the background unless, you know, it's for a specific purpose. Jeez, see it get rid of that walkway over there in like a split second. Turn the brush strength way down so it wouldn't be so zealous, but geez, still was. Oh yeah, that is an option. Actually, I forget about that. Okay, so in the workshop, there are some invisible roofs that can kind of fix the option right now. So these invisible, oh no, never mind. I guess that's not it. There are some roofs though that are invisible, and they're meant to block out. They're like a cover, right? So there's a few made by Night Vision. There's a few made um, by Asmodeus, and each of them are different. And what they do is they're essentially an invisible kind of like, imagine like a glass pane that its whole purpose is to block exterior light. But I'll be honest with you, this is something, and I don't mean to sound negative, like it's really something at the end of the day, right now, your players probably won't notice it much, and it's something you're kind of focused on more than them. Additionally, it will be sorted in our next update, so it really won't be much of an issue anymore. But like this here, I'm quickly just kind of covering the whole area. Where's that light coming? Got to be careful though, because it eventually can overlap the outside like that one did. The key is doing either lots of small ones in these little tight spots, you know, so you don't overlap the outside. I don't understand why I can't fix this one. There's a shadow there no matter what I do. Weird, right? Oh. Weird. That one is giving me all sorts of guff, but you get the idea. Using these, you could quickly fill in areas, especially if they're simple shapes. More difficult to shape, the harder it is. But our next update will fix this for sure. Reaper, manual building is what I'm doing today just to showcase how you can. But yeah, primarily Dungeon Alchemist can be driven using our map making technology automatically to drive environment building. So let's generate a cave, right? We're going to generate a quick labyrinth here. Set the size. So let's do 50 by 50. We'll set cave terrain. We'll set type as labyrinth. We're going to add a river into it. Let's do some glowing mushrooms in our cave. No weather, no torches because I want it to feel natural. And then room placement, there's no options other than cave levels. So I'm going to just generate this. Our map making engine will build this automatically, okay? And fill it out automatically with, you know, all sorts of stuff to simplify map making for you and make it super streamlined and efficient. So now you have a map in just a few clicks. You can go through and let's say you want to make adjustments. You can carve out the cave in different areas. You can fill in different areas that don't make sense. You can also just make a solid map and carve out the cave 100% if you want to. That's the benefit of Dungeon Alchemist. So you can generate stuff quickly. Now let's say you wanted to put a building inside here, right? Not just an environment. Let's put an alchemist lab in one of these rooms. Off to the side. Let's find a space that's a little bit larger here. Let's generate a lab over here. Now that one there is without anything in it. I actually had all the stuff off, my bad. So you can actually guide our room AI to have no objects, no walls, windows. So in this case, I don't want any windows, but I do want doors. So I'm going to regenerate it. And now there's a door here, which kind of is a weird placement. We'll just move it over. Maybe put another door on this other side. Move the boiler to the corner. And boom, it generated this room in just a couple of seconds. And you can regenerate the rooms over and over and over again if you're not happy with it. So let's say this particular room. I want it as a normal room, though. Honestly, surprisingly, a lot of people still struggle with putting regular rooms inside of caves, even after our last update, which now just has normal and non-flat rooms. It doesn't say organic, doesn't default to organic. I had someone arguing with me about this on Reddit the other day, and I'm like, no, it's really easy. You just draw the room. So... but anyway. So I'm going to keep regenerating to show you kind of how it shifts up the internal components a little bit. The doors stay in the same place because that's where I placed them. But everything else is here. Now, we can delete this room, right? And fill it like an organic laboratory that's just kind of filling in this space here. Like this guy found this area and filled it in with stuff like an underground workshop. So you could do either or. There's hundreds of rooftop options on the workshop. Yes. Honestly, Gore, I don't really recommend doing the high noon thing, setting your sun to this, because when you do, it has too much shine on export on metal objects. It's too much of a struggle to deal with, and it really is not worth what it gives you in benefit. So, again, I will like to point out that I've never heard of a player complaining about the internal-external light thing. In caves, it's actually very easy to fix. You can go in and just go redraw cave ceiling, right? This gets rid of outdoor lighting and shading. You really only need it around the openings, right? Anywhere you do this, you cannot see the outdoor lighting. Usually we'll default to this, but just in case. So if we put a token in here, there is cave ceiling all above this. There's no external light. If I leave this room, I guess, where it was it over here? As I get closer to the edge, there might be an external light source, right? But I think we, yeah, like that, right there. So really, there's only an external light source right near the edge. I can erase the cave ceiling, allow more light in right there. So you see that? It kind of like allows light to leak in that opening. Let's say you wanted this to have an opening above it, like a cave, a hole in the cave above, like a leaks in. You can also do that by erasing the cave ceiling, adding the cave ceiling. Anyway, for now, this is a good way, at least in caves, to restrict the lighting, and I think you can kind of take advantage of this in other maps. Let's generate a forest here. Let's generate an evergreen clearing with a river. Let's go ahead and put a cabin on it. We'll make a little circle cabin here off to the side. Right? Then I'm gonna just kind of move it closer to the edge there. Maybe raise it up a little bit and then generate it. Don't really like where the door is at, so I'm going to change the door placement to here, and then we'll click on the room. The AI generates around the door's placement, so if you recenter the door, it'll change the layout just slightly. So now we've got that. Okay. Just type roof. Run amok. All right, what was I going to show you all here? So one thing, let's say you want to eliminate inner shadows in a building, right? I mean, first off, you can always remove the sun, right? By removing the ceiling. So when you're inside in first person, it just blacks out the sky. But if you somewhere on your map generate just the tiniest little bit of a cave, right? So make it tiny, tiny. Just like a little lifted area. And then you carve... Huh, weird. That's not showing me. Interesting, the other cave tools are missing. They must have removed those. Before, you could do the shadow cave tool, and you could do it over a building, and it would remove it. It was kind of a hack, a workaround, so my bad. But I would just say for now... If anything, if it's bothering you, just ignore it for right now. In the next update, it'll be square. It'll be good to go. But in the interim, there are, assets on the workshop that can kind of fill the void. Asmodeus, I might recommend now that we have circular rooms even to upload a circular shadow cover. So people could put them over circular areas really quick. Half circle, circle, stuff like that. Anyway. Back to the build. Actually, the stream's over now. I didn't realize it. So let's go back and look at what we kind of accomplished today, and then we'll wrap up the stream. So the cool thing about caves is, yeah, you have a lot of versatility because you can use the terrain to make different levels. You can do multiple levels on normal ground by hand, by placing the objects. Our AI doesn't yet support that, but our next update will integrate that. In caves, though, I'll just open up a map I've made that has lots of different intricate levels in it. So I made and shared this map like a year ago, and it's a remastered version of an older map that I made. And essentially, this is a dwarven mine that I built. And this mine, abstracts aren't on the workshop run amok. You have to go find those yourself, make them yourself. Abstracts are more user driven. At this point, there's a channel on Discord that you can find community creations, or community assets has abstracts in it that have been shared, or you can make them yourselves. But they're mostly like an advanced user feature. So this map here is a cave map, a mine/cave that has some verticality in it in various points. Like here we've got some catwalks and some different levels of the cave. Come over here, we've got some pitfalls that I made that are great and really immersive. The mine goes up to a different level here and down to a separate level here, where it dips down but also has catwalks. I call this area of the map Goblin Town. And I made this over a year ago, pretty much using only stock assets. At the time, the workshop really wasn't around. I added some lights later to give these crystals some glow and fun, but other than that, it's pretty much all stock. But as you can see, there's various aspects where the terrain goes up and down. The most recent update, the magic update, allows you to actually put buildings in at any height, so you can raise or lower them before you generate them. So here you could put like a mine shaft or a pitfall or something like that. You can make it shaped different stuff. Ultimately, you have much more versatility in height in any biome, but the cave biome I feel like gives you the most versatility because there's a lot of terrain fluctuation. I mean, not really. I don't think so. I think the map's tracks are pretty good. I did them good the first time, snapping them all together. And I don't really have any tracks that overlapped or did any weird like Donkey Kong stuff. So I don't think I'm going to be updating this map again. At least anytime soon. By the way, our next update will integrate like all sorts of multi-level features for building and jumping between the levels, exporting each of the levels, roofing, removing the roofing, or so you can show inside, or having the roofing on just with a click. Essentially allowing you to build towers, castles, all sorts of stuff. This image here was a teaser that was shared this morning across our socials, showing kind of multi-level, how you can see big windows, not like overhanging stuff. And then you also have, rooftops, roofing, shingles, etc. This looks like a great, like, patinaed copper. So it's copper that's gotten, patinaed over years. So Reaper asks, do you have traps? We have a whole update planned around traps that will be available. How would Remy just asked, how would exports work on console? I guess you asked this earlier. Honestly, how they would work is you probably just export them to the cloud. Like on Microsoft Xbox, for instance, you have cloud integration that is tied right to the Microsoft One service. So my cloud service that I have on my PC is linked right to my Xbox as well, and I can share images and videos between them. In fact, that's how I run my media server on my home. My Xbox plays the videos and images and stuff, but my PC runs it as the media server. So you can essentially save to the cloud or through a flash drive or a hard drive on your Xbox. I imagine the same thing with PS5. I do think it'd be much easier on the Xbox to do it than it would be on PS5, because essentially Microsoft has built the Xbox, the new ones, to be like basically a Windows machine. You can run many of the Windows apps on the Xboxes now. You can search the App Store and many of the apps there will just install and run. Now, and you can even plug in a mouse and keyboard to the Xbox. They're a pretty powerful little machine. Okay, I'm not going to discount their power. They do really well, but you have to develop around them very specially. So, the fact that a console that's $300 can run Microsoft Flight Simulator goes to show how powerful these machines are. They can do quite a bit. I really enjoy my Xbox, but I just think because PlayStation's ecosystem isn't as conducive for file sharing or saving of third-party files, it might be problematic. But I'd imagine we could integrate the workshop to both Xbox and to PlayStation if we offered that at some point. I doubt we will do console, but if we did, it'd be really cool. I would love it, personally. I think building with a controller would actually be pretty easy. You could still do keyboard and mouse on a console, but a controller would be pretty nice. Don't want to get into console war stuff, to be honest with you. I I mean, people are entitled to like what they like and go from there. But at the end of the day, I think, if we offered more platforms, more stores, if we're on GOG, if we're on Epic, more people can get a hold of DA that way. If we're on, NVIDIA GeForce Now, that would support people in our community who don't have as powerful computers or maybe just tablets. And if we were on console, again, it would be awesome. Ultimately, I'm all for more inclusivity and getting our product out to more, platforms. But I think the devs want to wait until everything's a little bit more solid on the computer platform. Now, Reaper, we do have one update just planned for tricks and traps. I don't know when that's slated in our development cycle, but it's quite literally called Tricks and Traps. So our next update is going to be called Fun with Objects, and then in no particular order after that, we have Tricks and Traps, Water Worlds. Let's see here. Instant Dungeons and High Seas. So there's 5 updates remaining, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, let's go ahead and open up my map one more time, and we will wrap up today's stream. Gone about 30 minutes long today, but I don't mind staying and hanging out. Just want to say thank you for everyone that hung out today, supported our Mapmaker Monday stream, which is a weekly community initiative. You can find us streaming every Monday on all these platforms. So wherever you found us today, you can find us next Monday, same map time, same map channel. We stream several times per week, though, not just Monday. We stream Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday every week, okay? Mondays are multi-stream on every platform. Mapmaker Monday, like today, we build a map live. You can learn, ask questions in AMA format, and just hang out and vibe with our community. I'm building during those streams. Wednesday is called Office Hours. We hang out on our Discord. It's a Discord exclusive stream. If you're not a member of our Discord, highly recommend you join. It is the best place to get support for Dungeon Alchemist. Great place to hang out and meet other GMs. See what's coming out, the latest and greatest with DA. Usually teasers are posted there first, announcements, etc. So good place to be. Every Wednesday, Office Hours stream is essentially 2 hours of AMA, support, teasers, and hanging out, vibing with other like-minded, map maker aficionados. Our cartographer community. Saturdays, every other Saturday, we flip-flop, okay? We stream every Saturday, but each Saturday is a different stream. So this upcoming Saturday is called the Dam stream, whereas we showcase maps from the workshop and assets from the workshop, discuss how they were built, teach you how to do that, offer support, and AMA. So AMA questions during that means ask me anything, as long as it's Dungeon Alchemist related. So the opposite Saturday is called the Dam Challenge, which I'm sure you've seen the little marquee at the bottom of the screen. The Dam Challenge is a bi-weekly map-making contest we host on all our stream platforms and in our Discord. The current theme is hard work. Using that theme as inspiration, you make a map of any shape or size and submit it to the Dam Challenge channel in our Discord. Pinned at the top of the channel is a bunch of rules that are required in order for it's like 4 rules, not a bunch. If you follow those 4 rules with your entry will be considered as an official entry. And if you win, you get a $10 Hero Forge gift card. Your map is promptly featured as the first map on our Dam Challenge stream, getting you about 20-30 minutes of FaceTime. So you kind of get those bragging rights. And it's featured in our weekly newsletter, the Cartomancer Chronicles, which will be releasing a new one today at some point. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, thank you very much for everyone hanging out today. If you're interested in participating in the Dam Challenge, you have between now and the 4th, end of day on the 4th of October. So basically 11:59 p.m. in your time zone. You could submit a map anytime before then. Thank you everyone for being here. Again, my name is Mac. I am the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is a map-making utility available on Steam. Remember, we have a free demo now available. You can download the demo, give Dungeon Alchemist a little test drive before you buy to see how well it runs on your system and get an idea of at least a little slice of what it's like. Gives you access to the forest biome, allows you to build a tavern, and kind of just play around with it. Now remember, that is a small slice of what Dungeon Alchemist actually is. The full program is a one-time purchase for a lifetime license, including all of our remaining stretch goal updates, quality of life improvements, and patches. So it's a good idea if you're interested in this and you're kind of on the fence. A lifetime license means no monthly subscriptions, and you still get ongoing support for pretty much the foreseeable future. I hope you all had an amazing day. It was very fun hanging out with you. But otherwise, we'll see you next time I give a damn. Mac out. Bye.